Alright. Let's go for another episode of the house in Fata. Last time, Maria's continuing to deliver the white-haired girl's letters to Jacopo with the addressee changed by Maria to make it look like she's writing these letters to other men instead of her husband. But now it looks like Jacopo has finally gotten the resolve to talk to his wife again, who is still in the shed, by the way. So and Maria is going to the cellar. What a dank place. Ugh, it's so dark and humid down here. Makes me feel gross. Is someone there? Hello? Hello? Is anyone in there? It came from farther in. Whoa. It's seriously dusty back here. Yeah, actually it was like, she was commanded to clean the cellar as a maid, and she was like threatened that if she didn't do it, then she was gonna get yelled at by the head maid. So that's why she's in the cellar. Who was supposed to clean this last week? Well, clean the whole thing next time, damn it. Just makes my job harder. Disgusting. Crah. Damn cobwebs. Oh God. Oh dear God. I do not want to clean this. Ow! Oh, for God's sake, stack this stuff properly. Now I've got to fix this whole mess. For the love of... What's this? Something carved into the floor. Never noticed this before. Someone get bored one day? What do we have here? It's mostly illegible. Illegible. Let's see. It's not written in English, but my native language. But it's not modern. It's really archaic. Why on earth would an old form of my country's language be carved into the floor of a mansion built here in the New World? Most of it's illegible, but I can make out one section. Our lives shall be forfeit to the witch's curse. Nevertheless, we must lay bare those with sin upon their souls, for the redemption of those whom are pure. Should ye mean not to dispel your curse, we implore of you, O witch, to mark with it only their bloodlines. The blood of the sinners flows through those who dwelt within this house, but not I. What in the... A witch? That's crazy. That's crazy. But why does the handwriting look like mine? It's just coincidentally similar. No one's handwriting is perfectly unique after all. Why am I so sweaty? It's not that hot down here. Ah, nope. Forget it. Didn't see a thing. Not a chance it's real. Just a tasteless prank. This is silly. There's something in this box. Is that a painting? Has that always been here? Huh? White hair, fair skin. Is this the Madame? But then, why is the face all torn up? And her clothes look really old-fashioned. The painting seems worn and faded too. Something about it feels off. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's very creepy, unsettling. Okay, so I'm sure she's talking about the painting that Nellie had in her bedroom in the first story. So apparently that painting is still in the mansion. The writing on the floor in this painting. What is with this house? It's just a painting. Nothing to get weirded out over. Ah, I bet I know what happened. Jacopo probably slashed it up in a fit of jealousy. He is a simple man. Seeing this probably wouldn't put him in the best mood. Ha ha ha. What was that? Is someone there? The door is open? Nobody's there. What's this? A painting? Who could have left it here? Is that me? Why? But my face, it's been cut. No. Why would someone have this painted just to do this? Who would who would do such a thing? You're like a witch, my dear. Like a demon. Your very presence brings misfortune upon others. You're cursed. Mm, mm, mm. No, I am not. I, 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 I am not. Was it you, Jacopo? Did you, did you have this painted so you could destroy it? Do you really despise me to that extent? Why? Why do you... What? What did I ever do to make you hate me so? Why? Why? Uh, 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 I, I, all I am doing is waiting for you. You worthless tramp. Are those ears only for show? This house has no need of a garden. Always thought you had at least some sense of taste. Silence! It's all your fault. Every last thing. Then say goodbye to your freedom. I'll kill you! Does the mere act of waiting impose upon you? Does my mere presence pervert you? Would it be better if I were gone? Would it be better if I left this mansion? If I left you? I don't think I can wait much longer. There's no end in sight. I can't take it any. There is no end. No, I will set a deadline for when I give up waiting. When the project you pour your heart and soul into is complete. When the railroad opens, I will be finished waiting. And then it's over. The Pacific Railroad's last spike ceremony was drawing nearer by the day. That day was, coincidentally, the deadline the two of them had set for themselves, Jacopo to confront his wife, and the white-haired girl to wait for him. And as that day approached, she continued to write letters. She wrote the letters purely by force of habit, despite having been worn visibly thin. I expect that she could not stop, that the act of writing was all that kept her from going mad. By focusing her attention on another person through her letters, she was able to maintain her grip on herself. But that day would put an end to her suffering and despair. When the railroad was completed, all their misunderstandings would be cleared up. They would return to the smiling, happy couple they had been when they were first married. The harsh winter would finally come to a close, melting away into the past and allowing them to step into the future. With constant prayer in my heart, I impatiently awaited the railroad's opening ceremony. I do not, after all, wish for anyone to fall into any kind of misfortune. And that goes for you as well, Master. Now, Master, the door is soon to be shut upon this era. Are you prepared to see what happens next? I see. Very well. Then allow us to make our way to that final day. See with your own eyes, Master, how this tale concludes. And please, do not let go of my hand. The night before the opening ceremony, the master of the house headed for his wife's shed. There was a tension on his face, but a surety in his step. He had found the resolve to speak with her. Having locked her away for so long in the shed, like a common prisoner, Jacopo was hardly optimistic about what she might say to him. He had undeniably mistreated her, said heartless and cruel things to her, and even gotten physically violent with her. His actions were inexcusable, even if they were in response to her infidelity. Of course, the very infidelity which had driven him to such behavior had not, in fact, taken place, but he was unaware of that. There was a chance they would never reconcile their misunderstandings, and that this predicament would not have a positive resolution, but he still clung to a tiny fragment of hope. He wanted to start over with the white-haired girl, to make a new future with her. With that desire burning strong in his heart, he stood before the door to her shed and called out to her. "Are you awake? It's me, Jacopo. May I come in? I won't hurt you. I will not raise my hand against you again. I swear to you, I will do you no harm. I just wish to speak. I would like to have a calm, rational conversation. And as such, I will not enter your room until you have given me your permission. So may I please come in?" "You won't even give me a response? All right. Considering how you must feel about me, I shouldn't be surprised. Fine, then you don't have to let me in. But please, at least hear me out. Do you remember the day, shortly after we first met, when we went on our honeymoon? If you can even call the little walk we took a honeymoon. I was unable to do anything nice for you then either. I had no experience, no idea how to interact with an upper-class woman like you. I didn't know what I should do for you. And yes, I know that makes me sound juvenile. I have a tendency to say things I don't mean the more perturbed I get. I'm sure I said things to hurt you numerous times that day. However, at the photography shop, when you saw the phenakistoscope, you smiled for me. I was genuinely pleased in that moment. I felt like I had gotten closer to you. I very much doubt that was actually an appropriate present for a noble woman like yourself. Jewels or flowers or something like that, something beautiful, would have certainly suited you better. And I knew that, but I assumed you would have been given gifts like that countless times in the past. You are, after all, a beautiful woman. I did not want to have to compete on the same field as those other men. I wanted to be special. No, I wanted to be unique to you. No one had ever shown you anything of the sort before, had they? Frankly, I wasn't sure if a woman of your status would take any interest in a phenakistoscope at all. I imagine you've thrown it out by now, but I choose to believe you sincerely liked it on that day. That, if just for a moment, I caught your eye. Even if you started seeing other men afterwards, that moment was real, wasn't it? Our marriage was, at its core, nothing but an arrangement between our parents, an exchange of money and influence. That was how it began, but that day I loved you. I yearned to see you smile as if I had loved you my entire life. The Pacific Railroad has finally been completed. That's the project I've been funding. Everyone thought it was crazy, but a railroad now stretches across the breadth of this country. A joining ceremony tomorrow. It's going to be a grand event. Dude, I wonder if she already left. 'Cause she said that, like, the day the railroad was finished was, like, the deadline, so she might have, like, just left. Locally, they're planning on doing a gun salute, and the sound of the last spike being driven into the ground will be transmitted across the country via telegraph. I have procured a telegraph so we can listen to it here in the mansion. In your condition, you would probably have trouble handling the crowds at the telegraph station. But here, you could celebrate in the comfort of your own home. I suppose what I'm saying is, I want to celebrate this with you. I have made arrangements to make that possible for you, because I wish to have you there with me. Would you be willing, tomorrow, to celebrate the completion of the Pacific Railroad with me? Would you be there at my side? Please, say something. I want to start over. I know very well what I've done to you. You may be at fault yourself, but what I did is unacceptable. But what I did was a consequence of my overpowering love for you. I swear it. Why? Why will you not answer me? Say something. Anything. Please. Please. You can hear me in there, can't you? If you don't want to, you can just say no. If you do reject me, I'll set you free. I won't hurt you. I promise. The door is not locked? Who opened it? Hello? A humid spring breeze brushed against his cheeks. The drawn lace curtains appeared to glow in the gentle moonlight. The white-haired girl was not in her room. Bro, she took off. Honestly, Jacopo fucking deserves it. This is actually the best way this could end, was her just getting the fuck out of there. Where have you gone? Stupefied, he glanced about his wife's chambers. To my eyes, the neatly organized room appeared no different than any other day. But to his eyes, it was pale and hollow. For the one who was supposed to be there, who was supposed to be waiting for him, was not present. He could not hear her voice from anywhere in the shed. In its place echoed a dry rustling, a sad, pitiful, empty whisper of a noise. It came from the lone object left abandoned atop her desk. The phenakistoscope. 'Kistoscope. 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 'Kistosco It was the one present Jacopo had ever given the white-haired girl, a toy made of paper. When spun and viewed in a mirror, it created the illusion of a man and woman dancing. You still had this? That's ridiculous. I assumed you had thrown it out. The white-haired girl had evidently made considerable use of the phenakistoscope. The paper was visibly worn and tattered, warped in places, and had even begun to yellow. It spun slowly in the wind, rustling and rustling and rustling, spinning in an endless reminder of that day the year before, though there was no longer anyone around to look through it. Why? But you were with other men. Why would you keep something I gave you? It's so worn. Why? A letter. Beneath the ever-rotating phenakistoscope lay a single sheet of paper. As if drawn to it, he scanned the contents of the parchment. It was a letter addressed to Caro mio Jacopo. The salutation, written in his native language, translated as follows: My beloved Jacopo. Did the fruits of your dream turn out as you had hoped? I am sure it was wonderful and impressively fast. A train that can travel across a continent as large as this is like something out of a story. I wish I could have been there to see it. I'm sure it would have been quite pleasant, like the day you gave me the Phoenicus wheel. Am I being what? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I would keep waiting for you forever, no matter how much you hated or ignored me. But I made up my mind, so I'm sorry. I decided I would wait for you until the railroad was completed. I foolishly thought that you might invite me to the opening ceremony, but it seems I am not good enough for you. I'm going to take my leave of your house, so you needn't concern yourself with me any longer. However, I do have one request. Please do not forget about all the letters I wrote. Think back on them from time to time. Do not burn them all, for they contain my thoughts, my feelings, my words, a record of my love for you. Remember, when you can, that I was always watching you. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble writing. My ears are ringing. There's a voice whispering to me, calling me a witch. Maybe it's your voice. My vision is blurred. I'm not even sure what is going through my mind. I'm sorry this was all I was able to write for you. I'm truly sorry. I will leave the Phoenicus wheel behind. It was my dearest treasure. Farewell. I loved you. 5/8/1869. What? What the hell is this? He was visibly rattled, and unsurprisingly so. The mention of the Transcontinental Railroad's opening ceremony, the letters she had written, her dearest treasure, her profession of love for him, and above all, the mangled text that appeared to have been written by someone not entirely in their right mind. Everything about it served to amplify his befuddlement. You waited for me? How can that be? The joining ceremony is tomorrow. It hasn't happened yet. Why? Why did you have to leave then? I'm here. I came for you, just as I planned. The ceremony is on the 10th. A second later, Jacopo gasped. The date written on the letter was the day prior, May 8th. Originally, the ceremony was planned to be held on May 8th, 1869. However, due to bad weather and a labor dispute, it had been postponed for 2 days. This can't be. I made sure you were informed. I had Maria. The madame is having an affair. Maria. No, you couldn't. Scattered fragments of memory began coming together in his mind. Maria was the only one who had informed him of his wife's supposed unfaithfulness, and though the letters had not been addressed to him, thinking back on it, they had all been about him. In one letter, she had mentioned treasuring a gift. Jacopo had assumed it meant a gift from another man, but in fact, she had been referring to the phenakistoscope sitting atop her desk, still spinning in the wind. At long last, he finally made that connection. And at the same time, he realized that the only person who could have altered the letters was someone they both trusted. Maria. She never, even once, betrayed me. She was not unfaithful at all. She waited unwaveringly for me. And I refused to believe her. I caused her pain again and again. But his realizations came far too late. The white-haired girl's spirit had broken, and she was no longer at the mansion. Had he caught on to Maria's machinations sooner, things would not have turned out as they had. But he was much too late. Maria! Why? Why did you do this? Clenching the letter from his wife, Jacopo stormed out of the shed in search of Maria. But she was not in the room assigned to her. Where are you? Where have you gone? Maria! Several maids were roused from their slumber by the racket, But no one had the courage to speak up as the master of the house frantically charged through the halls. Eventually, he arrived at his own chamber. He was certain he had closed the door before leaving, but now a sliver of light shone through the gap between it and the frame. From within the room, he thought he could sense someone's presence. When he opened the door, there he saw, comfortably perched upon his own chair, a woman. "I've been waiting, Jacopo." Bro, that fucking look on her face, dude. Nice room you got here. Though I guess that's only natural, you being the man of the house and all. All these fancy furnishings. You do know this stuff's too good for you, right? And then me, I get that barren little maid's room. Drives me up the wall. So hey, Jacopo. Clear the air with your little lady yet? Maria! I love that look on your face. I'm guessing you didn't make things better then? You know good and well that she's not even here anymore. Well, yeah, but I still want to hear you say it, you know? I want to hear from your own mouth that you couldn't keep a leash on your woman, so you locked her up, drove her mad, broke her down, and then she ran away from you. Go on, say something. Climb back on your high horse and start shouting like you always do. Why, Maria? Why would you do this? Why? Why do you think? Because I fucking despise you. I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to end things, but then they just fell apart on their own. The fates are smiling down upon me, I guess. Nonsense. She was waiting for me until the day of the joining ceremony. And I was going to see her on that day. You knew the ceremony had been postponed. That's what you get for putting it all in my hands. For thinking I'm the only one on your side. What? Did you think I'd just tell her like a good little maid? Not a chance in hell. I mean, talk about some fantastic news. You both picked the same day, but you've got the dates different. Absolutely perfect. Maria, is that how you've always felt? How long have you held this grudge against me? How long? How long? How goddamn dense can you be? Must be nice living in your little fantasy world, Jacopo. And this is the next Capofamiglia? Oh my god, my sides. So you've always hated me? At the very least, I fucking loathed you since the minute we had our reunion. At first, I did try to convince myself you had your reasons. Didn't make it feel any less unfair, though. You had all your money and all your power, and everything else you stole from me. you go and get hitched to this pretty little lady. Oh, don't try to act like you're the victim here. This is all on you. Do you have any idea how I felt? Fallen from grace, made your goddamn maid, having to suck up to you? Do you have any idea how infuriating that was? Or did you think I didn't know anything? Did you think I didn't suspect anything? If you did, then you've got your head way up in the clouds. So you were motivated by your grudge against my family, the Berzattis? Precisely. That's exactly it. Your father wanted so bad to be the Capofamiglia, wanted so badly to be in power, that he murdered my dad and grandpa. They say it was a carriage accident, but the ground was all torn to hell where it happened. You want to tell me what kind of a carriage accident causes it to explode? As soon as my dad and grandpa died, your dad took over as Capofamiglia. The balance of power in the factions began to change. My family, and anyone with ties to the Campanellas, was either exterminated or exiled. The Berzattis took control of the city. My grandpa's Koska became your Koska. No one in their right mind would be naive enough to think the Berzattis didn't have a hand in that. The great Campanella family, bitten by their pet dog. Except the dog had rabies. And as a result, in time, that lush, historic land will wither away and die. My dad and grandpa, buried in that dried up earth, are screaming in their graves even now. You can't prove me wrong, can you, Jacopo? And now, first in line to be the next Capofamiglia is you, his son. Naturally. Feels pretty good, don't it? Slaughtering my family, leaving us to wallow in the mud, while you live here like a fucking king. Because of what your family did, I don't have a home to go back to anymore. No house, no prestige. I have nothing left. And that's goddamn outrageous. The Campanellas are supposed to run that city. But instead, you filthy Berzatti curs are crawling over it like some kind of infestation. I am a legitimate Campanella. But I'm stuck being your goddamn maid. If I hadn't been born a woman, I would have become the Capofamiglia after my dad and grandpa died. But because I'm a woman, I couldn't retaliate. I just had to sit on my hands and watch the tragedy unfold. It was absolutely miserable. So I had to make you suffer as well. I had to make you I had to make you twice as miserable as I was. Yeah, but bro, this is so fucked up because, like, even if, like, what she did to Jacopo was justified, she, like, fucked the white-haired woman over as a consequence. And that's just wrong, dude. Like she totally screwed the white-haired girl over just to get at Jacopo, basically. You had no reason to hate anyone but me. Why did you make her a part of this? Did you have some grudge against her too? Not particularly. I actually rather liked the Madame. Sweet, pretty, kind-hearted, timid, and fragile. Trusted every word I said. A splendid little toy. You thought of her as your toy? Now, can you really call me out for that? You can't. You have no right. You never cared one bit about anyone else. They're all footstools to you. It's a little too late to find yourself a sense of morality. This whole thing, it could have been avoided if you two just had a single conversation. But instead, the both of you come crawling to me, saying you're my only ally, Maria. How dense can you be? Of course, I thought you were my ally. I trusted you, as I'm sure she did too. Then you should get your eyes examined, because you can't see a damn thing. Maria. My God, it was beautiful. The way you two blindly trusted me, creating your own misunderstandings and causing your own pain. How you could never seem to get on the same page. Watching it all fall apart. Maria. Is that everything? The extent of your grudge and all you did? Ah, yep. That's everything. All that's left is for me to kill you. Hold still now. I wouldn't want to miss. Maria, you... Does our past mean nothing to you? Was that oath just an empty promise? How could it, when you remember so clearly? Fine, I'll explain it for our little romantic boy. Bad grown-ups will even take advantage of good memories. It's time I finally returned this to you, Jacopo. That cartridge you gave me, packed with your disgusting sentimentality. God. Killing you ain't the end, though. All you Bearzadi curs. I'll send every last one of you straight to hell. My revenge has just begun. Even if you had been a man, you wouldn't have been a suitable capo famiglia. You should have aimed between my eyes, Maria. Jacopo! Why? Why? In a panic, I pulled the trigger, and from the barrel a bullet went flying, quite literally right between her eyes. Would anyone ever believe me if I said this wasn't how I wanted things to turn out? Wow, dude. Well, yeah, it's late, so I think I'm gonna stop here. Alright. Well, maybe we will conclude this story tomorrow. But yeah, I gotta get to bed now, so enjoy the rest of your night, and I will be back again tomorrow.